Good morning. It is early. I have a reader's hair and I don't care. It is early on Sunday, Labor Day weekend, and I think I have tomorrow off and I have nothing really going on today or tomorrow. So I think I'm going to start and tackle my 24-hour read-a-thon for the Herkid Challenge. It is a little after 8 o'clock Sunday morning, and I'm piled up here in my chair, and I have, let's see if I can turn this around. How can I turn this around? Well, let me figure out how to turn this around, and I'll show you what else I've got going on. Okay, so we've turned this around. I have my coffee, and I have a stack of books that I've been collecting that are real thin. They're thin readers, and I think I'm going to tackle as many of these as I can. I was going through it. These two are on the banned book list. There may be some more, but I know for sure these two are on the banned book list, and that is one of my challenges as well. Banned book week in October is to read some banned books. So I'm going to set these aside, John Steinbeck of Mice and Men, and Speak by Lori House Anderson. I know both of these are on the banned book list, so I'm going to set those aside, and I'm just going to tackle this. Some of them are kind of thick, but there's a handful of them that are really kind of thin that I think I can knock out. My reading journal, don't spill my coffee. My reading journal page for this challenge looks like this. So when I get off here, I'll start my time, and then I'll just keep up with how many books I'm reading, and I will check back with you guys, and we'll see how we're going. Wish me luck. Like I said, I don't have an amount that I'm going to try to get. I just have this stack of small books, and I'm just going to pick one and start reading. They've been in my stash for a long time, so I'll be knocking down some TBRs as well. So, anyways, here we go. Let's get started. Okay, I think the first one up is going to be The Color of Milk by Nell Lyshan. No clue what this is about. It's been in my stash for a while. So we'll get started with this. I did find out, I grabbed these two first. This one's banned, and this one's banned. So I'm slowly making my stash of banned books to read for the banned book week coming up. So, anyways, we'll get started with this, The Color of Milk by Nell Lyshan. So it's right at noon, and I've finished this. It was a good book. It's written very, like, there's no capital letters. It's kind of hard. It's like a rambling almost. But it's kind of like a diary of a young girl. It has a very much Grapes of Wrath. No, not Grapes of Wrath. The Color Purple feel to it. So it's a good book. Interesting, and I like the way it ended. So I think, and again, it's noon. I've been reading since 8. I did stop this book for a minute and did some audiobook while I did some laundry and things like that. So I think next I've got a stack here. I think I'm going to do Bridge to Terabithia next. So I'm going to eat me some lunch, and I'll pop on an audiobook while I'm eating lunch, and then I'll come back to this and we'll go from there. Okay, so we have finished Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine Patterson. You know, it's a classic from forever ago. I don't really have an opinion on it. I mean, I'm glad I read it, marked it off my list, and we can move on now. I will say this, though. I've got a few of them pulled out. You know, I keep running across books that are banned, and so I'm having to set them aside for my banned book reading. But anyways, I'm going to take a break. It's 3 o'clock now. I'm going to take a break and listen to some audiobook for a while. My eyes are kind of going a little buggy. And I got some laundry and chores to do around here. So I'm going to listen to some audiobooks for now, and I'll be back after a bit whenever I decide which book I'm going to settle down with next. So it is a little before 7 p.m. and I've been reading Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I'm listening to it audio, and I've been reading along with it. So I'm about halfway done with it. I finished another audiobook that I had just started earlier this week, and so we got that done, and then I'm in the middle of this one. I'm taking a break from audiobook, and I'm going to read. I've got a handful of graphic novels here that I want to spend some time in, and so that'll be my next adventure. I've had dinner, and I'm just ready to settle down and probably pile up on the couch and see what else I can get into. So I am still hanging in here. I've still got reader's hair, and it is 11:30 at night, and I just finished my second audiobook, Bird Box, that I was reading alongside audiobook and reading it. Just finished that one, and I'm going to start this one, The Liberation of Gabriel King. It's a scholastic reader, so it's a thin book. It's been on my book shelf for a while, so I thought I would dive into it. And I had The Little Prince here. I was going to read it because it was a little read as well, but this is banned as well, and so I'm putting it in my banned books stack. It's amazing how you pull out all these older books and a lot of them are banned. So anyways, this one is not. It's controversial, but not banned yet. So I thought I would start that. And I'm still awake and functioning. And I want to go lay down and read, but I know as soon as I do, I will conk out. So I'm just going to sit here in my chair in my living room and read a little bit more, and we'll see. I started this at 8 a.m. I don't think I'm going to go till 8 a.m. tomorrow because, again, it's 11:30, and I don't know if you can see, but I've kind of got the sleepy eyes. So, but we're gonna try to read this, and hopefully it's good and keeps my attention. And if it don't, then we'll back up and regroup. So I'll be back soon enough. There you have it. That's what time it is. And I'm in bed, ready to call it a night. I just finished up this book, Liberation of Gabriel King. It's a scholastic read. Yeah, scholastic read, young adult read. It was a cute story. I will say this. This has been on my shelf for a while, and when I went to enter it in my Goodreads and all that, I realized that behind the sticker here on the cover there's actually a really ugly spider behind there. So I'm kind of glad that big sticker is there, because if so, this would have never ended up on my list. Never ended up on my shelf, because I'm not a fan of spiders. So the book wasn't about a spider, but it talked a lot about a spider. So and the cover under that sticker is a really ugly spider. So this was going to be my last read, and I was going to call it a night, but I don't do well with spiders, and I didn't want to go to bed with a lack of sleep and have spiders on my brain and have nightmares about spiders. And so I pulled out the next quick read in my shelf of small books. This one was a quick read. The House on Mango Street, or Mongo Street. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. This was an interesting read because it was done in like vignettes of a story, like little bits of almost like poetry, but not really. So that was pretty interesting. So I just finished this one as well. So these two will go in my box to go to to a free little library. And I will be calling it a night. I'm about to turn off the lights and try to get some sleep. I didn't read for 24 hours straight, but I made good progress. And I read quite a few books. So I will be back in the morning. And we'll kind of go over our stats and fill out my reading journal and all that good stuff. So I will see you guys in the morning. Good night. Good morning. I am a sleepy. But I am done with that challenge. Yeah, that was rough for, when you're older, it's harder to stay awake all night long. Used to when I was younger, I could stay awake all night long and with no issues, no problems. But man, so I did get a little bit of sleep. I went to bed about 3 and it's about 9 this morning. So I got a few hours of sleep, but today is totally going to be a lazy day. I'm still in my pajamas. I'm eating a bagel and sipping on coffee, and I plan to do no reading today. I've done enough. I plan to catch up on some YouTube videos that I'm watching. Maybe piddle in my art space. Just be lazy. I've fully reserved the right to take a nap at any time. It's Monday, it's Labor Day in the States, and I'm just going to make it an anti-Labor Day. And yeah, hopefully I can get back on track today with just being lazy so I can function tomorrow at work. So anyways, I'm going to flip the camera around, I think. I don't think it does well with flipping cameras around while I'm videoing, but and I'll show you my reading journal page, and we'll kind of go over it and go from there. Okay, so here we are. First off, that is the theme for the day: more self-love, because we're just going to be lazy and love on ourselves today. But I got my coffee going on. Here is my 24-hour Read-a-Thon page. So I started at 8 a.m. yesterday morning, and I finished at 3 a.m. this morning, a total of 19 hours. And I read a total of 1,080 pages, 7 books. So I knocked out a lot of little books that have been floating around on my shelf. And while I was knocking them out, if you noticed, I was knocking them out and putting some in my banned book pile, because my challenge, another one of my challenges for this challenge is to read some banned books for the week October 5th through 11th. So I pulled out some of those that I know I can tackle. They're small books, obviously, and they're younger age books, but I have them on my on my shelf for a reason, because I bought them or checked them out at some point. And so I'm just kind of working through them. So anyways, 19 hours. I didn't quite make it to 24, but I'm going to consider that successful. I honestly thought I would make it till about 8 or 9 o'clock. I was honestly wondering if I was even going to make 12 hours, because I am usually in bed by 7:30 or 8 every night. So, so to be up till 3 in the morning tackling this was pretty impressive to me. So I'm going to call this satisfactory. And I knocked off a good handful of books, and read a good handful of pages. 2 of them were audiobooks. I read The Color of Milk, Bridge to Terabithia. I finished my audiobook Race to the Bottom of the Earth. It's about a race to Antarctica, which I did that for another one of these prompts for her kid. Excuse me. I read the graphic novel Killing and Dying by A. Tomine. Bird Box was, I did it as a psychological horror for subgenre challenge, but I did it audiobook and I followed along in the book. The Liberation of Gabriel King, I did kind of the same thing. I had the audiobook, and so I listened to it, but I mainly read it. And then The House on Mango Street, I did it the same way. A little bit of audio, a little bit of following along. So The House on Mango Street, it is designed in little vignettes, so it was an easy read. But it was basically told the story of the young girl and her, I say they're all little in the few that I flipped to. Gotta let the airplane go by. I live by the airport, and they like to fly by when I'm on camera. But this, even in the little vignettes, it told the story of a little girl and her experiences living in the house on Mango Street, or Mongo Street. Anyways, that wraps it up for my 24-hour read-a-thon. I'm going to call this one completed because I don't foresee that I'm going to tackle that again to try to get 24 hours. I'm surprised that I did 19 hours. So thanks for joining me, and we'll move on to the next challenge. Bye for now.